Staples Center. Matinee action here. Kings and Predators. And what a matchup we've been talking about in the pregame show. It's just one of those things where you have two goaltenders like this matching up against each other. It is something special. Pekka Rinne, look at those numbers. They jump out at you. Well under 2 goals a game average. Save percentage over 93% for Jonathan Quick. 16 wins on the season. I believe Quick is number 1 in the world. I put Rinne as number 2. Great matchup right here. The Finnish goaltender against the American. The officials for today's game in the middle is Dan O'Halloran. He's the veteran official. He'll be joined by Tim Peel. Tim also has some years under his belt. For the linesmen, we have Trent Knorr and Kyle Murchison. Rinne's big. Listed at 6'5", but Bob, I mentioned that during one of our Jumbotron things here at Staples Center. And Stu Grimson, who does the color for the Nashville Predators, to know he's 6'6", and when Stu tells you something, you correct it, and you don't, or else he gets on you. So big goaltender one end, athletic goaltender at the other. Coming up right now, play-by-play Hall of Famer Bob Miller.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. The Kings need 1 win for 900 wins at home in their history. Puck comes along the boards and is tipped down into the corner, and now trying to get to it. The Predators move it along the boards to Colin Wilson, taken away by Brown, and now cleared to the blue line and out to center ice. Kings get to it there and move it across the line. And Pekka Rinne scoops this one up. He was going to drop it, and he thought better of it, and he hangs on.
Bob, big goaltender, mentioned 6'6", but very quick feet and very quick hands. Kind of athletic for a big guy. Daryl Sutter behind the bench talking about the Nashville Predators yesterday at practice, just saying the one thing that's obvious to everyone, but it fits the Kings too. Goaltending, defense wins you championships, and the Nashville Predators have both of those.
Richards wins the draw, and a shot by Green, and he scores! Richards won the face-off, and Green took a shot that went into the net, and the Kings lead 1-0.
Well, the defense doesn't work right there for the Predators, and the goaltending doesn't either. And Matt Green has kind of a surprised look on his face, not as surprised as he was earlier in the season. We'll watch this right back, and we'll see the goaltender. It looks like he took a wave at it, but it must have hit something, and I think it floated too. I don't know if he can do both at the same time. Quick release, a couple of sticks waving. It hit the glove of Rinne at the end. Then it kind of got lodged in the net. That's exactly the start you want. Voracek was there, win a face-off. Kings lead 1-0.
Well, the Kings have talked about get that first goal if you can and play with a lead, and they do it here this afternoon early in the game with a shot by Green, and now the puck comes up out of play, and we will have a face-off coming up. That was kind of weird. Rinne, just as you said, maybe it did tick off a part of him and go into the net.
It got his glove, Bob. I don't think that's in question. It was just a couple of sticks waving. At the point of the release, I think there was a screen, so he couldn't see that. Then you had sticks and bodies. I think from both teams skating in front created a screen. Didn't see it.
They haven't made the announcement yet. Now a shot and a save by Quick, and it comes into the corner. So they're probably taking a long look at this. Now the announcement. And it is Matt Green getting the goal to put the Kings ahead 1-0. Mike Richards, who, as we said, won the draw, he gets the assist. 32 seconds after the opening faceoff, the Kings with a 1-0 lead. And it is Green getting his 3rd of the year. Obviously the first shot on goal for the Kings, as the goal came early after that faceoff. Shot from the right side is deflected wide. The shot there went into the corner of the Kings zone, and now the Predators going for it again. Chased down there by Mark Arcobello. They just got him from Edmonton this last week. Picked up now by Nystrom. His shot deflects up the middle, and the Kings have it in their own zone. Now here is Williams. Williams gives it over to Kopitar. Kopitar into the Nashville zone. Kopitar down the left side. It's ridden into the boards there. The puck comes down in deep. Still a battle for it. It comes free. Sent around the boards right side. Kings try to hold it in. Jamie McBain is there, but it's dug out by Nashville. They get it to former King #1 pick, Olli Jokinen. And Jokinen gets it out to center ice to the King blue line. Broken up there by Jeff Schultz. Here's Schultz with it. His pass over to Gabrick. Bounced away from Gabrick, and then a whistle on the play here as think a hand pass call.
Another chance to see the goal again. What happens with the screen, and just at the point of attack, there's a couple things going on, but also, you got to stop right here, guys. Here's the guy going out, but watch when the shot goes through. Another stop here. Look at this. Look at this line of players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, and the goaltender's leaning. He's looking. He does get a piece. The goaltender was leaning with Rennie. He had to lean to his left to see where the puck was, but never, ever picked it up. So important to win the faceoff, but more important to get the traffic.
So first shot of the game goes in for the Kings, and they have a 1-0 lead. And the Predators with it. Anton Volchenkov just came back after a lower body injury. He moves it up to center ice. Predators to the King line. Cross the line, left side, down in deep, and into the corner goes Colin Wilson. He got checked hard there. Pinching down the right side is Seth Jones. And now the puck rolls to the side of the net, and Wilson got a stick on it. Predators with some pressure on here. Back at the blue line. Shot from there by Volchenkov is blocked and comes back out to center ice. Kings get it over on the right side, and Stoll drives it into the Nashville zone, and the Kings change on the fly.
Neat little block there, Bob, by Trevor Lewis. He went down to both knees, but he kind of kept his legs free like a goaltender, and he just whips out one of the legs to make the block shot right in the middle of the slide.
Kings in their own zone, try to get control. Dwight King does, and he gives it to Matt Green. Green along the boards, back to King. And the Kings finally pick it up at the blue line and get it up to King at center ice. On the right wing, Dwight King sends it in deep. Here is Kyle Clifford going for it. Back to King. King in the corner. Gets it back out to the right point. A shot from there and a save by Rene. And the puck along the board. So Matt Green's hot. He's firing away today. Green back in his own zone. Picks it up there and gives it over to Martinez. And now back to Matt Green. Up to Martinez on the left side. Martinez sends it down in deep in the Nashville zone. Chased in by Gabrick. Gabrick gets help from Kopitar. Now Williams. Now to the blue line. Shot from there by McBain. Blocked in front. Predators long lead pass. Comes all the way down toward Quick. He sweeps it along the right wing boards and taken by Williams. Back into Green. Over to the left side now. And Schultz gets it up ahead to center ice. He got it there from McBain, and it comes bouncing into the Nashville zone, and Pekka Rinne scoops it up.
We'll take a look overhead at Pekka Rinne on the first one. You see his glove? It's right there in the position, but watch how his body language changes as the puck comes towards him. As the traffic gets to him, you see him kind of scrunch up a little bit, and there he's moving. He's pushing. He can sense where the puck is, but by that look right there, he doesn't know where it is. He knows it's to his left, but he can't actually see it. The glove was big. It was a position. It hit the glove, but not enough. The Kings have the 1-0 lead.
Kopitar on the face-off here in the Nashville zone. Gabrick over to try and pick it up to Kopitar to the blue line to Schultz. Schultz's pass comes down in deep and tipped behind the net, but the Predators get to it. Drive it off the boards and out to center ice. Getting back is Jamie McBain, but his pass taken away, and a long shot deflected into the corner and taken now by Jokinen. He gets a shot and a save made.
And I quit. You can tell, Bob, already the different tempo that the Predators play for this year. I mean, it's just a different thing. Traffic, that's a key. Hyundai tells us because you have world-class goaltenders, you need traffic. The Kings had it on the first goal. Breakouts, much improved by the Kings of late. That leads to the strong forecheck because you have so much flow up the ice. And then forecheck turnovers. The Kings have improved in that area, so keep an eye on that. But again, you get to see the different tempo that the Nashville Predators are playing at under Peter Laviolette. It's much more aggressive, much more forceful.
They win the draw. Back to Shea Weber. Moves it left side, and a shot from there. Knocked down in front and scored to tie the game. It bounced right down in front, and Mike Fisher was there to tie it up at 1-1.
End zone face-off, so similar situation. Traffic. That's exactly what both teams have talked about. You know that with the goaltenders in today's game. You just know it. They've talked about traffic, and both teams are working as hard as possible to get that. Not as cleanly won this time as far as the shot going back. Josi gets it through, high in the air. Fisher behind, to the front. No one picks up the puck because of that traffic. Look at Jonathan Quick. He's looking. Where is it? Where is it? It's right beside you. The puck in the air, but that traffic creates a whole bunch of issues for both goaltenders. We have a 1-1 tie.
So Fisher had a tap in for his 5th of the year, and the game is tied 1-1. Predators come back in a hurry and tie this up as it's driven into King's zone, and Quick stops it back behind the net. Doughty's pass along the boards over toward Toffoli. Now Muzzin over to help out. Back to the blue line. Predators with it. Shot is saved there by Quick on the shot from the left side and comes down in deep. Back behind the net again. Big zone. Another shot off the post and wide to the right. Predators almost took the lead. Down in deep. Puck taken now by the Predators, and the Kings take it away and get it up to Pearson. Pearson gets it out to center ice and tipped up out of play there. But Mike Ribeiro had a pretty good chance down in there, and there's Fisher who's got the goal to tie the game at 1-1.
Now the goal again for the Predators, so important to make sure you change the point of attack, and it is. Weber goes all the way across. You got to respect his shot. But again, look at the bodies in front. Everyone's jostling. And again, Fisher went from behind the net to the front of the net. With all that traffic, didn't necessarily create a screen, but couldn't find the puck after the initial shot. So many bodies going to the front of the net.
Puck back in the King zone now and chipped off the boards out to center ice. But out of the reach of Clifford, and Shea Weber back to get it. Moves it over on the left side into the King zone. Taken away there. Kings almost give it away, and they do it to Stahlberg. He drops it back, and a shot up high and over the net. Victor Stahlberg grabbed it and dropped it back to the top of the slot. Shot was high, and now Nashville with a good forecheck, holding it in again. Pass down in deep. Predators wait. Pass in front. Deflected in. A pass in front. Deflected into the net behind Quick, and we've had 3 goals already.
And it's just forecheck with a little bit of forecheck and then more forecheck. That's what's happening in this game. And if there is a way to see the difference in the Predators used to be a solid team, but they beat you by out-defending you. Now they force turnovers. The big bodies down low, spinning, turning. Now whether this goes off a Predator or a King, not exactly sure. It may have been Matt Green back there defending, and he gets his stick on it. Fisher in behind, Green turns, but that's movement and the spacing and the aggressiveness of the Predators. They're forcing these plays. They're forcing the turnovers, and they take a 2-1 lead. So the best goaltenders in the world, today, Bob, it's going to be 9-8. We'll see what happens.
Always happens when you pump them up, right? Puck is along the boards in the King zone, and as we've mentioned, the forecheck very effective by the Nashville Predators here early in the game, and after falling down 1-0 32 seconds into the game, they have now taken the lead at 2-1. Colin Wilson looks like going to get credit for that, so he was trying to get it over to Fisher, but it never got there.
Yeah, the stick of Green. And you try to get back, and you see just goes off the post right there. Now, of course, if Green doesn't get that, Mike Fisher probably has the second tap in the night. So you're putting Green into a situation. I know a lot of people say, well, what is he doing on that play? When you're trying to block the pass, obviously, the bad bounce works. If he's not there, it's a goal anyway.
Wilson gets his 11th of the year. Now the Kings come back, pass over to Gabbert, and he just couldn't get his stick on it. Gabbert down in the corner, checked there and knocked down to the ice. Kings get it back to the blue line. Passed by Muzzin over to Doughty and tipped away to center, and then Muzzin got over to get a stick on it, and it came up out of play. The goal by Fisher is 5th from Roman Josi and Shea Weber at 4:54, and then Wilson puts the Preds ahead 2-1.
Predators lead the Kings 2-1. I'm Patrick O'Neill with the cold hard facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. This is the 10th consecutive start in the regular season for Jonathan Quick, which is 3 short of the most consecutive starts he's ever made, but ties the most that Daryl Sutter has ever used him. Now Daryl's the one that makes obviously the call on who is in net. I talked to Bill Ranford, who said that they're not trying to set Quick starts. It is important for Martin Jones to play, but Jim, it's the schedule. That's why Quick is starting all these games in a row.
Yeah, again, the Kings have the fewest number of back-to-backs in the NHL. I believe they're tied with the Predators with the fewest number.
Now a shot is blocked in front as the Predators in the King zone once again, and the shot was knocked down and comes back out to center. Gaustad got the shot, but an offside called here against the Kings.
And then you have the homestand. We took a look at that in the Open in January, where you have a homestand and just the way things are coming off the Christmas break, where everyone gets a chance to rest. And the Kings did have that back-to-back on the road, Calgary, Edmonton, but in the Calgary game, Quick didn't get a lot of action. Martin Jones is from Calgary. Maybe had a chance to start that game. Billy Ranford. Of course, a lot of consultation goes on between him and the head coach and Daryl Sutter. Anytime head coaches don't bother with the goaltenders. They leave it to the goaltending coach.
Here's Victor Stahlberg. Threw it in front. It goes off quick and right up the middle of the Kings have it. Back they come to center ice. Puck driven down in deep. Pearson tried to get there. Toffoli picks it up. Toffoli, Pearson, Carter. That 70s line on the ice for the Kings. Kings are down 2-1 here in the first period, and here's Doughty. Gets it over to Muzzin. Muzzin up ahead to center ice. Muzzin's pass off the stick of Carter, and then Nashville almost got it, but they want to change lines, and the puck taken by Muzzin. Flips it across the line into the Nashville zone, and it's cleared back into the Kings zone now, and back to get it is the Kings. Muzzin moves it up ahead to Richards. He drives it wide to the right. Clifford going forward for the Kings. Clifford checked hard there, back behind the net. Clifford still battles for it, gets help from Dwight King. Clifford trying to come out with it. Predators have it. They come along. A penalty coming up against the Kings. Pass on the right wing side into the Kings zone. Going to be chased down there, and the first power play of the game is going to go to Nashville as Clifford will go to the penalty box.
Yeah, Clifford just trying to get an angle on Seth Jones, and Jones kept his legs moving. And watch the hack once, the hack twice. It's into the skates the second one. So the referee calls it a slash. Could have been a trip on the play. Really didn't necessarily matter because there was a foul right there. And a good job by Jones to keep it going, because the Kings in that line right there had a real good game last game. Richards, King, and Clifford on the forecheck. They're trying to ham the Predators in. There's Seth Jones, second season in the NHL, starting to feel things out, and good idea right there. Don't hesitate. If you hesitate, you're lost. He doesn't, and he draws the penalty.
Predators on the power play, 28th in the lead. Not very good at 13.3. King penalty killing tied for 18th. Predators have outshot the Kings 7-0 in the last 7 minutes and several seconds. 7-11 before this last faceoff. Predators with a chance on the power play now in the King zone. Puck is taken there and off the stick of Olli Jokinen, and then cleared by Trevor Lewis.
Yeah, with Shea Weber, he's the guy you have to watch in a power play situation. Interesting breakout alignment, because Weber, the shooter, is right at the far blue line. He has the puck right now as a defenseman, so he's kind of spreading out things for the Nashville Predators. He's not playing, at least to start, the normal defenseman position.
Shea Weber had that last shot, but he didn't really get a chance to crank it up and fire it like he can, and the stop was made, and the Kings clear it again. Now the Predators start back up to the blue line. They've got a 2-1 lead. Here is Seth Jones moving it over on the left side, but offside. Oh, I thought I heard a whistle. No, they still play. Heard a whistle somewhere. Puck comes back to Seth Jones, right side. He peels back, drops it down into the corner now. The Predators cross ice pass. Score! Right off of the pass to the left side. A drive there, and the Predators have taken a 3-1 lead. Ryan Ellis. Boy, what a shot by him.
Yeah, no hesitation there. And Daryl Sutter looking on, go, what the heck is happening here today at Staples Center? Ribeiro quickly, and even quicker is the release. And Jonathan Quick waves at this one. Quick's upset with himself. He thought he had the position. He thought he had the puck. He thought he had a lot of things, but because of where the shot is taken, watch it kind of keep going and going and going. Quick is still moving side to side, and we do get a change here. So all the buildup. Ryan Ellis gets his 4th goal of the season. Martin Jones comes in, and Jonathan Quick gets the early hook. You know, Daryl Sutter does not like doing this. He's talked about it many times. Does not like doing it, but Jonathan Quick not on his game to start here. One weird goal. Of course, the other one's beating him. Couldn't find the first one, couldn't find the third one. And the Predators lead 3-1.
So out of the game with 10:17 left in the first period is Jonathan Quick. The game started out great for the Kings. A goal 32 seconds in. Now they've given up 3 straight goals, and they trail 3-1. Puck comes down in deep into the Kings zone, and McBain gets it over to Schultz. Schultz's pass up the middle, tipped on the left side, held in by the Predators for a moment by Seth Jones, but then the Kings clear it. Now Jones has it again for Nashville. Pass over the right side, tipped down in deep, chased in there by as Arcobello threw it in, and the Kings back over to get it. Cleared up ahead to center ice and back into the Predators zone where Seth Jones has it. Seth Jones, their number 1 pick in 2013. Good check by Doughty right at the blue line there. Puck taken by the Kings. Kopitar, he shoots, knocked away. Kopitar again. Kopitar still on his stick. Drops it back to Doughty. Doughty made a spin move and lost the puck there, and it came out to center ice. Predators get to it, but the Kings are going to get it back. Across the line. Kings with it now into the Predator zone. Back to the blue line, taken by Muzzin. He shoots, and it is deflected wide off the boards and back to Doughty. Ellis gets the power play goal, his 4th of the year. Now a shot up high by Doughty off the boards. Doughty flipped it in the air and it's gloved by Pekka Rinne. 3-1 Nashville. What a turnaround here early in the first period. We'll be right back.
They're always looking for an edge. Peter Laviolette and his team, full scale change before the last power play goal. We'll count them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's okay with the goaltender 6, but as we go further here, check out what happens. Stop it here. This guy is on the ice at all times. They had 6 skaters on the ice well before now. That's well before the goal scored. Of course, it took a setup and then a cross call, all those types of things before the goal scored, but interesting situation right there with the Nashville Predators. No one picks it up. Well, didn't have a big impact on the goal. Let's face it, wasn't a change where someone comes on and is immediately involved in the play.
Shot from the blue line by Green is tipped along the boards. Picked up by the Predators. They've had 3 goals in 4 minutes and 49 seconds to take a 3-1 lead. They scored 2 of them in 1:22. Jonathan Quick goes out of the game. 9 shots. He gave up 3 goals. And Martin Jones in goal for the Kings. Puck comes back on the right side of the Kings zone and thrown down Ian Deep. Chased down into the corner by Stallberg. Broken up there by the Kings as they move it along the boards, and it is not cleared by Pearson. Now he gets it out to center. Predators take it away. Flip it right back into the Kings zone. Battle right at the blue line there as the Kings dig it out and pass it over now to Martinez. His pass up to center ice. Off a stick, and Nashville controls again. Forsberg on the ice. He moves it ahead. Down the right side. Drop pass. Shot from there is wide to the right side. And a penalty coming up here.
Yeah, it looks like Forsberg behind the play. He's going to go off. Still down on the ice is Jared Stoll. So slashing against Forsberg, roughing against Stoll, and Stoll is still shaking off, I assume, what the slash was. And not a happy camper, and Forsberg didn't have any argument, so he must have turned around and really whacked him, because Forsberg went right to the penalty box. Jared Stoll is trying to figure out whether he wants to go in or maybe go off for some attention. If you get it at the wrong place in the leg, sometimes it does go numb, and you have that weird feeling where you don't know how much you can put on it. And I'm making that assumption because he's still limping out there. So we hope there's no permanent damage. Coincidental minors if we get 4-on-4 skating.
Penalties come at 12:19. Face-off won by the Predators in the King zone. Shot is wide and off the board to the right side. And it's picked up by the Kings. Drew Doughty. Doughty drops it off to Muzzin. Kings down 3-1 here in the first period. Pass up ahead now to Kopitar. Kopitar to center. Trying to get it over to Gaborik, but it's broken up, and the Predators have it again. They come back to the blue line. Cross the line on the right side. Here's Nystrom. He drops it back. Gets it back again. A backhander is wide by Nystrom. It comes over to Shea Weber. Weber to Roman Josi. Josi shoots. Save. Rebound in front. Maybe it was blocked in front. Don't know if it got through the goaltender. Puck taken behind the net now by Muzzin in the King zone. Muzzin feeds it up ahead to Gaborik. Kings trying to get back in this game. They're making a line change here, so they wait for the teammates to get on the ice. Now up to center ice. Pass on the right side to Pearson. Pearson driving down in deep. Pearson beaten to the puck there and ridden off by Ekholm. Matthias Ekholm, but the Kings have it again. They get it back to the blue line. Thrown in front and just sent wide to the right side by Jamie McBain.
McBain trying to interchange positions right there. That's a big part of his game. Being active offensively. We've seen it many times. Good vision. Be alive on the offensive zone.
McBain again as he came across the line. Now to Foley. To Foley on the right side. Threw it back behind the net to Brown. Brown's pass. Pinching down the left side is Muzzin. Now down into Brown again. Brown checked by Ekholm. Shot from the right side is knocked down as it came through to the goaltender, Rinne. He had a teammate right in front of him. Held into the right point by Doughty. Shoots. Save. Rebound is still loose. Picked up by the Kings. Back up the middle. Right side. Doughty shoots. And Rinne falling back, spinning around. The Kings get it, but it comes out to center ice and back into the Kings zone.
And 4-on-4 usually changes things up. Now both players back on the ice. We're back to 5-on-5. Some good chances. Once again, traffic was the big issue. Even on 4-on-4, the Kings get men to the front.
Up to center ice. Kings get it on the right wing side to King. Dwight King into the corner. He gets checked there. The puck comes loose. Volchenkov checked him. Puck is loose and cleared out to center ice by Nashville. Now the crowd coming alive here with a Go Kings Go chant. Puck down in the corner, and it is taken by Richards. Richards in front to Williams. He shoots. Saved by Rene, and he hangs on.
That time the big goaltender finds the puck through traffic, controls the puck. No issue on the rebound. He ties it up. Preds lead 3-1. Just a little summary for Martin Jones, 24 years old. He's going to be turning 25 on the 10th of this month. Already has 6 career shutouts, and just to send a shutout to Night Owl on Twitter, he corrects me. He says Martin Jones is not from Vancouver. He's from North Vancouver. Excusez-moi.
Well, the faceoff will be in the Nashville zone. We're talking about tall goalies, and as Jim said, the Predators list the goaltender Rene as 6'5", but Stu Grimson said closer to 6'6". Ben Bishop is the tallest goaltender ever to play in the NHL. He's with Tampa Bay, 6 feet 7 inches tall. Puck is in the King zone, and a backhander steered away there by Jones. And the puck taken by the Kings back up to center ice. Thrown on the right side, but tip it away there and played and sent deep down into the King zone by Gaustad, who had that previous shot that Jones knocked down. And puck taken by Kopitar up to center ice. Kopitar to the blue line, poke checked away from him. Muzzin in with a hard check. Kings get it back in their own zone with 4:14 to go in the first period. Kings down 3-1. They've already made a goaltender change in the game. Martin Jones comes in, his second appearance ever against the Nashville Predators. His previous appearance, he lost in a overtime. Puck is cleared across the King line, down in deep, and chased in by Gabbard. He drops it back over to Doughty. Doughty's pass knocked down there. Defensively, Nashville comes into the game today, second best defensive team in the league. They only allow 2.07 goals a game. Pass is tipped to the blue line and then out to center by Dwight King.
We talked about the offense for Nashville this year, Bob, and the reason that the turnaround, Laviolette, and a different style. Offense really hasn't picked up that much. It's the differential issue. The defense is there with a decent offense at the same time, and that's why the Predators have the record they do so far this season. But you can see already in this game, they're much more aggressive on the forecheck. Single game tickets are still available to see your LA Kings in action. Also, every game day, additional tickets will be released for sale on select dates. Singles available for up to 50% off. Information, lakings.com/tickets. Check out what you can do here. If you're single, you don't have anyone else to join. Sometimes you get a pretty good deal on tickets.
That loss that Jones had to Nashville was back on November 25th at Nashville in a shootout, 4-3. Nashville winning that game. So Jones comes on here in the first period and replaces Quick. And the puck comes out to center ice and chased down by the Predators. Picked up there by Seth Jones. 3 minutes left to go here in the first period. Pass comes down into the King zone. Right corner, picked up there and sent behind the net to Stoll. So good to see Jarrett Stoll back after he limped over to the penalty box moments ago. Puck is taken by the Kings. Trevor Lewis gives it to Jeff Schultz behind the net. Pass up ahead now, and the Kings bring it out to center ice. Snapped down in deep by Brown. Pecorine out to play it. Sent it along the boards, out to center ice, and the Kings drive it right back in. They have to get on side, and they do. Predators, Jones back in to get it. His dad, Popeye Jones, played in the NBA. Puck comes up ahead to center and tipped across the line and offside, called against Nashville.
There's a look at Seth again. He came into the NHL last year. Everyone thought he was going to be the first overall pick, or at least that was the talk going in. He ends up being the fourth. Had to wait a little bit extra time. He said the longest 9 minutes of his life were the difference between he thought he was going to get picked and when he was picked. But he has progressed. He's matured. They probably threw too much at him too early last year. Then he kind of leveled out. He plateaued. Now it seems like he's in a perfect spot to get better and better every single game.
Puck thrown into the zone and back out to the blue line and out to center ice. Kings chase it down. Picked up there by Muzzin. He moves it ahead. Chased in by Pearson. Pearson going in behind the net. Checked there by Weber. Pearson Stops in the corner. Now it comes over toward Doughty. Now up the middle to Muzzin. Muzzin shoots and just tipped wide. And the rebound to Toffoli, and he couldn't handle it off the board.
Yeah, he thought he had it the first time. Then he got to bounce back, maybe have it the second time. A little frustration right there. So that's the first good chance for the Kings in quite a while. Of course, they had the first goal, but since then, not many offensive opportunities.
Now up the center. Kings get it over to Clifford, but tipped away from him. Predators have it again, and it's driven down into the Kings zone by Olli Jokinen. Now behind the net. Broken up there. Kings have it. They get it over to Clifford, and then it's cleared into the Nashville zone, and an icing call against the Kings.
Well, I was just talking about Seth Jones. Of course, Philip Forsberg is, if everything keeps going the way it is, he's going to win the Calder Trophy Rookie of the Year. But Peter Laviolette, his head coach, says the one thing they're working on right now is to make sure they're just moving ahead slowly with Forsberg. They're not heaping a lot of huge expectations on him. So sometimes, like, again, last year with Jones, maybe he's forced into a situation he's not ready for. They want to stay away from that with Forsberg, and certainly it's working.
Forsberg leading all rookies in the league in 9 different categories, including goals, assists, and points. He's out of Sweden. Puck comes into the corner of the Kings zone. Williams had it for a moment. Now tipped away from him, and the Kings get it back again along the boards, and it is taken away again by the Predators. A shot just wide to the left side with a minute to go in the first period.
Another forced turnover on the forecheck by the Predators. Very aggressive.
Nystrom holds it in, throws it down the right side. Now Ellis trying to get to it. Puck comes deeper into the King zone. Played there and taken by Green. Green's long pass up the center, out of the reach of Williams. Into the corner. Williams trying to get to it. Clifford comes in to help out. Clifford gets knocked down in the corner. Now back to the blue line to Muzzin. Now back over to Doughty. He shoots and saved by Rene at the doorstep. The Kings have come close a couple of times here, but Rene makes this save, and it's still 3-1 Nashville.
Yeah, the first minute of the period, maybe the last 5 minutes, the Kings have turned it on. Great forecheck, strip of the puck, and there's the deflection save, and Kopitar just can't get the angle there. And a lot of that might have to do with the size of the goaltender. You see the big leg pad, and he's stretching out right there. He's forcing Kopitar just to go around and try to find enough room to slap it home. But the angle's not there. Kopitar may have tried, if he had more time, to go to the forehand. But you don't have a lot of time in those instances, so get the shot through. Second chance works. Kings can't put it home.
And now the puck in the Nashville zone as Kopitar's pass gets by Doughty and all the way back into the King zone, and Doughty back to get it. Try to get it up to King. Now it's center ice. Predators drive it back in with 13 seconds left to go here in the first period. Jim Fox will talk with one of the Kings at the end of the period. The puck comes to the blue line. It is taken by Gabrick, and that's going to do it. 2 seconds to go. And Kopitar with a long shot at the buzzer. And that is the end of a disappointing first period that started out so well with a King goal on the first shot of the game. 32 seconds in, Predators come back with Fisher, Wilson, and Ellis getting 3 straight goals.
Yeah, a good example, Bob, of where the first goal doesn't necessarily mean good start on the play, because the forecheck picked up for the Predators. They didn't let that goal phase them. They actually picked up that game. Later on, the Kings came back, so it's a battle to see who gets the forecheck going. So far, for the most part, it's been the Preds.
So at the end of one, the Kings trail 3-1, and when we come back, Jim Fox will talk with King defenseman Jake Muzzin. All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written permission of the Los Angeles Kings is prohibited. Kings Hockey is brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda now at your Honda dealer. And by Jack in the Box. The Chipotle Chicken Club Combo is back at Jack in the Box for a limited time.
Welcome back once again, Staples Center. The Kings trying to settle down. The Predators did a pretty good job there near the end of period number 1. There's Jonathan Quick, quiet on the bench right now. I'm sure he's going through what went on there in the first period. Again, Sean and Patrick were talking about it. Coaches have many different reasons to pull goaltenders. One is to get the team going. One is if you're not sure how the goaltender is going. I think it was a little bit of both there because of the third goal. Well, you heard the third goal. It went off the post, one-time shot. The second goal, he doesn't necessarily, the bounce, but not finding the first one. that's not the goaltender's fault because you have traffic. At the same time, goaltenders want to track that puck. They want to know where it is, and Quick could not come up with that on the first goal against.
And the second period underway. See if the Kings can continue, as Jim said, that flurry they had near the end of the first period. Nashville holds it in the King zone here, though. Now it's cleared out to center ice, and Trevor Lewis trying to get there, but Predators have it. Seth Jones drives it back behind the King net. It comes around the boards over to Doughty. Doughty checked there. The Kings dig it out. They don't clear it yet. Now they have another chance. Up to center ice is Doughty. Doughty feeds it over to Stoll. Stoll on the left side. Then a shot from there knocked away. The shot by Brown on that left wing. Puck comes along the boards, and the Kings try to get to it again. It is tipped up in the air and out across the blue line to center ice. Brown with a check right in front of the King bench. Puck comes down into King. Dwight King has it in the Nashville zone and chased in deep again by King. He gets checked there, but he put it back behind the net. Now a return pass, and King with a wraparound and a save by Pekka Rinne. Puck cleared down to center ice, taken by Kopitar. Kopitar to Green. Green drives it back behind the net. Stopped there by Pekka Rinne. He's going to wait and was going to pass it up toward the blue line, then thought better of it. Puck comes out to center ice. Kings take it away again. Here across the line, Kopitar. Kopitar pulls up, feeds it back to Green. His shot blocked and taken by Nashville.
Volchenkov was beat by Kopitar. At least he was turned inside out.
Yeah.
That gave time for the shot, but then it is a great job to get back and block the shot.
Puck taken now by King. He moves it ahead to Kopitar, up ahead to center ice. Sent across the line by Gabrick. Broken up there, and the Nashville Predators have it again, and back they come up to center ice. Thrown down the left wing side by Mark Arcobello. Arcobello moved it around the boards, taken away by the Kings' Clifford. His pass to center comes all the way down the Nashville zone, and icing called against the Kings.
Always interesting, that dynamic again, pulling a goaltender, those types of things. I know one thing for sure. The man on the left, Jonathan Quick, will tell you he felt he should have had all 3 goals, regardless of the bounce off Matt Green. Bill Ranford, of course, the Kings goaltending consultant. They break down every goal situation. Not to the point where you're in your face every day going, why didn't you stop that? But just break it down and make sure you look at the stoppable ones.
Ryan Ellis moved it right side, then a shot and saved by Martin Jones.
A couple of whacks and hacks right there. Ribeiro tried to kind of lift it over. He has a little smile for Justin Williams. I'm sure Justin not happy with his smile, but the Predators can do that with a 2-goal lead. Chip, save, whack, and that's why the Kings are a little upset. A couple of whacks and not a lot by Ribeiro. Ribeiro is one of the most deceptive players. He likes to get that blue line and likes to just hold on to pucks that time. The puck was loose, that's why he's going after it. But the stick into the chest of the goaltender, never happy for any of the teammates. They want to get in and protect the goalie.
Ribeiro played his 900th NHL game the other night. A shot score from back of the blue line, tipped, and now it is 4-1 Nashville.
Ekholm gets the shot, Bob, and the tip is there, and Daryl Sutter has some more words for his bench right there. The traffic is there. Starts with an end zone face-off. So the face-off is one. That's the second time in this game. So many different elements. Look at Ekholm walk the line, and it's redirected. Looks like Drew Doughty. Wow, a lot of sticks. And you have Smith going through the zone. You have Forsberg facing. I think it's Doughty, yes. I think it's the shaft of Drew Doughty. So, but because of all those players, great look right there from behind the goaltender. I mean, you had 3 Predators trying to get involved in the situation. They didn't get there, but it doesn't matter. The Kings off their stick, and the shot gets through. 4-1 Predators.
Well, this crowd is stunned. They couldn't believe the Kings got a goal 32 seconds in, and everything looked great. Kings had a 1-0 lead. Now they have given up 4 unanswered goals. One went off Green. This one apparently looked like it went off Doughty. Puck sent down deep into the Kings zone and sent around the boards, and the Kings start back out to center, but a pass tipped there and taken away by Nashville. Paul Gaustad moves it down into the Kings zone, and Green back in to get it. The building is dead quiet right now. There's nothing much to cheer for Kings fans. Right side to Lewis. Lewis shoots and a glove save. Pekka Rinne.
So, Bob, now the stun factor, like you're talking about with the building, is probably in effect with the Kings as a team. And the Kings aren't known. They're not a team that gets, dazed or phased. But they're certainly in that point in the game where the next one has to be theirs.
Yeah.
And especially when you have a goaltender like Rinne. Remember when the Kings won their first Stanley Cup in 2012 when they had all those leads and series leads, and people just kept saying, you're not going to score that many against Jonathan Quick. Same situation with the Predators and Rinne.
Kings with it as Stoll sends it wide of the net, out of the reach of Lewis. Kings hold it into the blue line. A shot is knocked down and picked up by Nashville. Back they come to center ice. Stahlberg sends it down in deep, chased it down himself. Victor Stahlberg being checked by Jeff Schultz. Schultz knocks Stahlberg into the boards, and the puck is still loose. Stahlberg got up and tried to get to it, but the Kings dig it out and they get it over to Trevor Lewis. Lewis up to center. Snaps it down deep into the Nashville zone. Sent along the boards. Stoll going for it, and he got knocked down. And in front, the puck just tipped back behind the net.
Now the Kings trying to change it somehow physically. Trying to take the body here.
Now Nashville coming across the line. Left side, shot from there. Score! A shot from the left side that time by Arcobello, and now it is 5-1. This is unbelievable. 5 unanswered goals here this afternoon for Nashville.
The Predators believe it, and they move the puck. The Kings tried to take the body 3 times in a row.
Knocked down, and
then when they get it going, watch this. One pass, the Kings have 2 men changing, and that change kind of hurts them because it allows time. Now, having said that, even though he gets to the dot, that's a stoppable goal. It's short side, and watch where he pulls the trigger. It's still outside the face-off circle. Now, is it a perfect shot? Yes. No question about that. Was there a bad change? Yes. But the goaltender has to make the save right there. Not the case. 4-goal lead for the Predators.
puck back in the Predator zone down in the corner. Yossi got knocked down there. Kings try to dig it out. They got a long way to come back. Back to the blue line. Martinez, his shot blocked in front, and then a shot deflects off the netting out of play.
Stunned?
Yes, I am stunned.
A lot of people that have played the Predators this year are not, because they're showing exactly what to do. Arcobello, Bob, he's a pick. Imagine how happy he is. He goes from the Edmonton and he comes to a team that's right near the Western Conference top. He gets put right in the lineup. He's a small guy. He understands that, but it's just that overwhelming feeling that the Predators give you because of the support. Now, the Kings are not on their game. You can look at all elements of the game. The traffic, the Kings have had it, but so have the Predators. The forecheck, you have to give the edge to the Predators. They had it way more effectively. The goaltending, the Kings have not put a lot of chances against Rinne, but at the same time, there's been a couple of stoppable goals that Nashville has scored on the Kings. So when all of those things break down, you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. That's what's happening here.
Well, that fourth goal that we thought went off of Doughty, they're going to give to Forsberg, his 15th of the year. The assist to Ekholm, who got the shot.
Maybe a little light here at the end of the tunnel, but when we saw that shot going through, we had Forsberg facing the shooter. Looked like it went by him, then off the stick of Doughty. Could have happened both. Could have hit Forsberg, then Doughty. But now Olli Jokinen goes off for a face-off trip. Kind of an interference play, and it's in the offensive zone, so you're looking for anything here to get yourself going. And sometimes the other team makes a mistake, and that's the case here for the Predators. The Kings have to capitalize.
Arcobello of Nashville got his 8th goal of the year, and now the Kings with a power play. Here is Muzzin. Moves it over on the left side. Tripping call against Jokinen. Carter's pass. Now it comes back to the blue line, taken by Muzzin. He moves it left side again. Pass over to Doughty, and it came off of the netting out of play.
Sticks in the positions there for the Predators. The Kings tried to zip it across, so that's okay. You try to change the point of attack. Pretty much staying at home. Again, there's Shea Weber in front. Interesting comments yesterday in practice by Drew Doughty on Weber, teammates for the Canadian Olympic team, and a lot of respect from Drew Doughty to Shea Weber, I'll tell you that. Probably goes the other way too, but there's the captain of the Predators. He's always out there in a critical situation here, filling a penalty.
Kings win the draw. Doughty shoots, and it's tipped into the left wing corner. Kings have it again. Here is Gabrick.
Gostad broke his stick on the block, and now it comes out. Look at Gostad right to the bench to make that change.
Kings Doughty back to get it. Doughty drives it deep into the zone. The goaltender couldn't cut it off. Puck came into the corner to Kopitar. Now Carter. Now to the blue line. Kings on the power play. Doughty, he gives it there to Kopitar. Kopitar into Carter. Now Carter behind the net. Back to the blue line. Doughty to Kopitar. Shoots. Blocked. Kopitar again. Kopitar double teamed. Sends it down toward the corner. Now the pass back out to Muzzin. Muzzin over to Doughty. Back over to Gabrick, and his shot up high and off the glass. Picked up by the Kings again. Gabrick gets it from Muzzin. Gabrick's pass. Left side. Kings with it. A shot up high and deflected up out of play.
May have deflected off the crossbar. There's some movement by the Kings. They're using the seams. They're moving bodies. They're opening up those lanes because they're not standing still. and everyone was involved. So I know when you're trailing by 4 goals, it doesn't sound like much, and it doesn't mean that much. Screen, Brittany goes down, and there's the crossbar. For that reason, it stays inside. And the Kings will have another chance here. Stoll taking the face-off for the Kings.
Well, they're going to change that 4th goal again.
They just have to listen to us, Bob.
Ekholm gets it from Smith and Ellis at 2:16. So Forsberg not involved in that. Kings still with it now on the power play. Pass, and that hit the post and came out. So what, 2 posts on the last couple of shots.
Brown had the pass, didn't make it through, comes right back to him, wide open net. He's on a bad angle, but he's a righty on the left side, and just goes a little bit too high.
Now the puck back to the blue line. Sent in by the Kings to Martinez. His shot deflected. Puck comes back around the right point. Held in again now by the Kings. McBain moved to the left side. Down in deep. Kings have no shots on this power play yet. They got 12 seconds left to go on it.
But they have 2 off the post.
McBain shoots, deflected wide. Picked up again by the Kings. And now only 5 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Jamie McBain, right side. He shoots, and that deflects wide to the left, and the power play is over. Now the Kings score! Just as the power play is over, the puck tipped into the net. Jokinen came out of the penalty box just as the Kings scored, and now it is 5-2.
Well, Bob, you get the points with a goal and assist. You also get the plus because now you're back at even strength, so it's a good thing. Is it Justin Williams? Someone's in there. May have gone off the Predators. How many goals have we seen in today's game already where it's going off of a couple of different people? I think it went by Williams and off the legs of the defender right there, Volchenkov. I think that's the play. The power play was good. I know the Kings only ended up with 1 shot there at the end, but the movement was real good. They get one even strength. Are they back in the game? I'm not going to go that far, but better feeling for the Kings.
Richards for the Kings. His pass knocked away back out to center ice. I agree with you. Pucks are going off bodies and into the net, and this is a wild scoring game here this afternoon.
It was easy, Bob. I was coming back on the plane the other night thinking about the keys for today's game, and the first thing that came to mind for me was traffic, and traffic has been there for both teams.
Well, you were thinking of driving home when you got to the airport.
That late, there's no traffic.
That's right. Shot now by Ribeiro and a save by Jones.
You have the goaltending situation. You just know the other team's going to go, I need traffic, I need traffic. And both teams have done a pretty good job there. So defense, we'll see if they can kind of adjust and make sure they box out before the bodies get to the front.
Ribeiro goes for it on the right side, and it is tipped away, but taken by the Kings. They're announcing the King goal now. Martinez gets credit for that goal. Brown is going to get an assist on it. That made it 5-2. And McBain gets an assist. We'll be back.
The goal that made it 4-1, Ekholm scores, but watch his centerman, Ribeiro. I believe he lost the face-off on purpose because watch how the forwards jump, and he moves back. Carter wins it cleanly. Look at the 2 forwards. They're right on the Kings. Ribeiro backs off as the centerman. He doesn't follow the puck. 2-man support. Look at that. 2 quickly right after the puck. I think that was a planned play. On the far side, you have a defenseman pinching down. I think the face-off was lost on purpose. And the Predators know that. They plan for it, and they end up getting the puck and the goal.
Well, now the puck cleared out to center and all the way down the King zone. We're going to get an icing call here. So let's catch up on the scoring in the second period. The goal that made it 4-1 Nashville is Ekholm, his second from Smith and Ellis at 2:16. Then on the next shot at 3:57, Arcobello, his 8th from Wilson and Volchenkov, made it 5-1. Then Martinez gets his 4th from Brown and McBain at 6:29 for the Kings, makes it 5-2. For Jamie McBain, his 99th career point. Puck held in by Martinez, but now tipped away back to center, and Martinez with it again. Slaps it down into the Nashville zone. We're in the second period, still with just under 12 minutes to go, and 7 goals have been scored.
I'm still taking my 7-6 score. I'll take that.
I think you might be right.
You got it. Only the 7s for the right team.
That'll teach us to talk about world-class goalies.
Exactly. Believe me, Bob, I am getting trounced on Twitter right now. The number 1, the number 2 goalies. Yeah, well, I don't blame them. Keep it coming because today it did not look good for Jonathan Quick. And again, Pekka Rinne hasn't been tested as much as the Kings goaltenders have. But again, you're just always looking for that next play to turn around the game. Now back within 3, as I mentioned, you still need one more here before you start thinking about it. But the Predators have not been able to forecheck as well here in the second as they did in the first. But they still right now have that 3-goal lead.
Well, those 3 goals by the two teams were scored in 4 minutes and 13 seconds. And the puck is in the Kings zone here and taken by Kopitar for a moment. Now tipped away from him, but the Kings get it again to Dwight King. Clears it up ahead to center ice. Kopitar chased it down. Poke checked away by Roman Josi and back down into the Kings zone. The Predators on the year 24 wins. They're second in the Central Division, 1 point behind the Chicago Blackhawks. They are third in the Western Conference. Kings try to dig it out. They do at the right point. Puck is held in and backhanded by Dwight King. Pekka Rinne, the goaltender, gives it to Josi. His pass up the middle. King slapped at it and got his stick on it, but it's taken away now and cleared up ahead to center ice to Bourque. Bourque sends it down deep into the Kings zone, and back to get it is McBain, but what do we got here? We got a whistle.
Yeah, we have a penalty called by the back referee, Dan O'Halloran. Interference will be the call. So when you have those dump in, those
55
LA situations, many times it's a defenseman. You've got to make that decision quickly. You either decide to stand up and make contact, or you decide to go back and get the puck. So the Predators are breaking out of the zone. You're going to stop right here. Here's Schultz. Now he's got to make that decision. What's he going to do when the puck is chipped by him? Too much. He moves too much to the side. He doesn't stay in his lane. If he goes directly back without leaving one way or the other, then you can get away with it. Not the case. He leans one way, makes contact, interference to call.
And the Predators win the draw. Here's Shea Weber. They're 1 out of 1 on the power play with just one shot, and they scored on it. Puck is taken back behind the King net. Sent around by Fisher out to the right point. Roman Josi with it there. Feeds it on the right wing. Now a pass deflected off a skate. Josi shot by Ellis. Tipped away into the corner as the save was made. The puck taken by Weber. Weber on the right side. Now he shoots and it's deflected wide. Picked up again now. I think I said Ellis before. Weber got the shot. Here is Josi. Josi at the blue line. His shot knocked down in front and not cleared by Doughty. Held in by Roman Josi. Threw it in the corner. Taken by Muzzin. He clears it the length of the ice.
Yeah, the bazooka was loaded on that one. 2 shots by Weber. 1-time shot, so he's just cranking it up. You mentioned the ranking, Bob, earlier. Only 28th on the power play. That's very surprising. But so many other different elements of the game working for the Predators. 5-on-5 numbers are incredible.
Predators send it deep into the Kings zone. It comes back to Seth Jones at the right point. Predators on the power play. Important penalty kill for the Kings and a nice save by Jones there, and the puck cleared out to center ice. Martin Jones with a save, and the Predators back in their own zone to regroup on the power play. They've got 40 seconds left to go on it. They get it over to Ribeiro on the left side. Drives it deep into the corner. Martinez gets to it, and he clears it back into the Nashville zone. Predators with 1 shot on this power play. They've got 25 seconds left to go on it now. Puck comes up ahead to center. Seth Jones drives it around the boards. Kings get to it and quickly clear it again. So, boy, the Kings have gotten to the puck and not hesitated to get it out to center. That was cleared by Doughty.
Build off a penalty kill. Still 5 seconds remaining, but a chance for the Kings to get some positive momentum going.
Muzzin in to get it in the corner. To Doughty. Kings are back at full strength. Now they head to center. Out of the penalty box is Jeff Schultz, but he's going to go right to the bench. Puck cleared to the neutral zone again, taken by Doughty. Doughty into the zone. He got tripped up, and a penalty coming up to the Predators.
Doughty understands when to go and when not to go. He sensed the momentum on the ice, which way the Predators were going. He decides to attack, draws the penalty. Maybe a turnaround in this game. Kings trail by 3. Kelly Yarncroke goes to the box, was not happy with the call on the trip right there, but he got himself into a position where he's reaching with his stick. And again, Drew Doughty, sensing when the other team's on their heels, he attacked right away. Off a strong penalty kill, Bob, as you were talking about, where the Kings were real quick to puck. So you're just hoping for anything that's going to be positive and kind of get the Kings back to game speed. And it has picked up here in the second. Again, the Predators, not as much forecheck, big chance here for the Kings to now make it interesting.
Yeah, chance to take another big step toward getting back in this game, but the Predators come out with a puck and bring it up to center ice. And it's driven high and gloved there as Yossi sent it toward the King net, and Martin Jones made the save. Then Quick got knocked down coming out as the play came back up to center ice, or Jones, I should say. Puck is picked up now by Kopitar. His pass right through the slot. Taken there and cleared up the center ice to the King blue line, taken away by Doughty.
And the last time this unit was on the ice, they had some real good movement of the puck in the offensive zone.
Chased in by Carter. Now behind the net. Picked up by the Predators. Can they get free to clear it? Not yet. Now they do. It's driven right at Martin Jones, and he makes the stop on that. It was Gostad that cleared.
You know what, Bob? This is one of the best games I've seen Paul Gostad play. He's a big body out there, but he's playing with some urgency. He's quick to pucks. A lot of different elements. Are great on the faceoffs, but he's doing a lot of other things at top speed.
Williams to Stoll. Back to Williams. Taken away, and Mike Fisher trying to clear, but it's tipped up in the air at the blue line and comes out to center. Taken now by McBain. Kenny McBain for the Kings. His pass ahead to Stoll. Stoll into the zone, moves it left side to Brown. Brown into the slot, back to McBain, right point. McBain's pass, left, Martinez shooting, deflected into the corner, picked up by Williams. Williams checked there by Jones. They battle in the corner as the Kings still on the power play. They got 30 seconds left on it. Puck comes back to the blue line to Martinez. Martinez to McBain. He's got some room on the right side. McBain shoots, but it's wide and deflected out of play. Volchenkov throwing himself right in front of that shot.
And but what he does too, he smothers the play. Veteran defenseman known for exactly this. So if you're McBain, you got to make your decision quicker, because watch Volchenkov. He's going to go down, and he's not under control. You see him laying there, so he's not sliding out of position. He's not only taking away the shot, he's taking away any potential pass. I think at the end, McBain tries to just flip it over because he's in no man's land. Veteran play, smart play, especially on the penalty kill.
I mentioned he just got back after a lower body injury. Now the face-off in the Nashville zone. The Kings pick it up along the boards. Taken there by Williams. Williams spinning, tried to get it to Stoll. And now the Predators take it away, and they bring it back out to center. Kings have no shots on the power play, and they've got only 5 seconds left to go on it. And the Kings start back up to center ice. Predators are back at full strength right now. Jarnkrok steps out of the penalty box. Predators have it in their own zone and move it all the way back into the Kings zone. And back in to get it is Alec Martinez. So the Kings can't get that goal that would have made it 5-3. It's still 5-2 in favor of Nashville here in the second period. Martinez shoots, and a save by Rene. Martinez put it right on target, and Pekka Rinne came up with a save. Roman Josi sends it around the boards for Nashville. Cleared to the blue line, but not out. Yes, it did come out. And tipped, or knocked down with a high stick, I should say.
Chance to remind anyone who follows the LA Kings, you can play on the ice with your favorite LA Kings alumni legends. 2015 LA Kings Fantasy Camp, March 11th through 14, Toyota Sports Center. That's El Segundo, Staples Center here downtown. Don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime. LAKings.com/fantasy camp. And Bob, if you're an amateur player out there and you're in a beer league or whatever you want to do, if you want to make yourself seem fast, come out and play against the old guys, because we're not as fast as we once were.
Yes, but you are still skillful. I've seen those games.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, the Kings have points in 6 of the last 7 games. They're 3-0-1 in the last 4 at home, but it is a struggle here this afternoon.
I'm just looking against shots on goal. The Predators have 16, but they have 5 goals in those 16. Again, a lot of weird goals, a lot of bounces, not all over, players, both teams, redirections, those types of things. But save percentage, you want to see a few more saves in there somehow. And again, a couple of bad angle situations. So still a lot of time to go here. Weird game.
5:45 to go in the second period. Puck sent deep into the Nashville zone. Fisher going for it. He got checked pretty hard there. Puck comes around the right side and is held in by the Kings. They get it into Fisher, or to Richards, who threw that check on Fisher, and the puck comes back to the right point to Doughty. Puts it back behind the net. Pekka Rinne cut it off. He's looking for his 25th win of the season. Leads the NHL with 24. Here's Roman Josi. Dropped it back to the blue line. Sent back behind the net, around the boards, over to Mike Fisher. Fisher checked there. His pass taken away. Kings have it. Back up to center ice they come. Here's King. Feeds it on the right side. Kopitar Kopitar's pass up the middle, shot wide to the right side. Was right in the middle, and now back to Kopitar. Kopitar again. His pass across left side to Muzzin. Score! Muzzin from the left point. Deflected in front. King was there, and the Kings are now to within 2, trailing 5-3.
One of the few times the Predators get caught initially. Kings didn't score on that initial rush, but they had kind of a 4-on-2, maybe a 4-on-3. Predators sniffed it out, but then head up, shot low, and redirected. You have King, you have Clifford, you have double, you have 2 bodies in front, and that's so important. The Predators thought they had snuffed it out. Looking on the back end right there once. Yeah, I think it's going to be King. It goes off of King, then it goes off of Yossi. Clifford's there too, but how much have we talked about traffic? It's been there, and the Kings now back within 2.
5-3 in favor of the Predators, still in the second period. Now the crowd alive again. Go Kings, go the chant. In front to Stoll, and he just couldn't tip it in. Here's Green. He had the first goal. He throws it in front. Loose puck. Still there. And reaching out was Stoll and just couldn't get it at the right angle to get it in as the puck comes to Green at the blue line, but offside called against the Kings.
A couple of sticks had a chance there, and the puck bomb, I think, was laying in the crease. No one could get there. But now the fans are alive. Staples Center has a feel for it. Kings back within 2. King on the goal. We'll be right back right after this. If you could ever get one more before the end of the period, then it really becomes nervous time. And now I think you are back. You're back feeling you have a chance. How much that means to a team like the Kings, I'm not sure, because they very rarely get too high or too low, but it's been a strength of this team never to give up. And the outnumbered situation, the outnumber I'm talking about, Clifford and King, both guys were in front, only one Predator, and the Kings able to get a stick on the puck.
King got the Kings' first one in Vancouver the other night to start the Kings' comeback, in which they won 3-2. He gets his 6th goal here. Kings send it deep into the zone. Pecorine drives it in the corner, knocked down by Carter, and a hand pass called here against the Kings. The goal by Dwight King is 6th of the year. The assists go to Muzzin and Kopitar at 15:05.
You just hope, Bob, the Kings can. The reason I bring it up is because you're just praying and hoping for balanced scoring. And now some of the other guys are scoring. Green gets another one to start it. King gets it. It's just the guys you're not expecting to fill the net are scoring some goals of late. And if you get help from the guys normally do it, then you're going to win some games.
Kopitar with 14 points on 2 goals and 12 assists in the last 9 games for the Kings. Puck held into the right point, sent down back behind the net, was held in by McBain. Now the Kings in the Nashville zone again, looking for one more to pull to within 1. Here's a pass in front, comes wide to the left side to Schultz. Schultz throws it in, knocked down in front, shot. King got a shot there, but it's cleared out to center ice and sent right back in by the Kings with 3:25 to go in the second period. Roman Josi back behind his own net. First of 7 straight at home for the Kings. And the Kings at home this year, 14-4-2. Trying to pick up some points here at home. Having a struggle here this afternoon, no doubt about that. But they're trying to make a valiant comeback in this game. Puck is cleared up to Williams on the right wing. He sends it into the zone. Rene scoops it up there, and he hangs on.
The Kings had that 4th line on the ice that last shift. And talked with Daryl Sutter about that yesterday at practice. And like most coaches, Daryl does not like to label his lines 1 through 4 because that kind of insinuates that the 4th line is not as important. But in the last game against Vancouver, Richards, King, Clifford, very important. Same thing in this game, and it's because of the forecheck. It's wearing down the other team and playing at pace too. Very quick to get the loose pucks.
8 goals today in the game, 4 in the first, 4 in the second. Predators drive it deep into the Kings zone. Sent down the left side by Nystrom, and now the Kings take over in their own zone. Tip pass, not completed, taken away there, and back to Muzzin. Muzzin's pass to Kopitar. He tipped it along the boards. Then he brings it up to center ice, but taken away there by Nashville again and sent back into the Kings zone. taken away on a pass, and the pass is blocked there as Ellis tried to make one more pass. Puck is taken by the Kings. Across the line is Gabrick. Gabrick down in deep. Gabrick back behind the net. Puck comes out to the left point. Held in by Martinez. And now in deep. Kings with it again. Gabrick with a shot knocked down. Puck comes to the blue line and out to center. Chased down now by Nashville. Picked up by Fisher. He goes back behind the net and his pass taken away by Kopitar. Kopitar up to center ice. Tipped away from him. Who's going to get to the puck? It comes into the Nashville zone. Taken there and sent ahead and offside as Craig Smith came right down the middle, but offside called against Nashville.
Predators again, they have that pinching down with defensemen because they always have the safety valve, and that makes them more aggressive in the offensive zone. But that last shift was a little bit back and forth. When you're trailing by 2, I don't think it really matters. Kings keep it in once right there, turn around. And here's the check. Yeah, good idea here by Gabrick. He didn't have help on the play, so he said, beeline to the front. Get to the net, make something happen. Didn't work that time. If he has more support on that play, then you hold on and wait to see if someone else gets open.
Predators have it back in their own zone with 1:35 left to go in the second period. Puck sent back to the blue line and taken by the Kings, Martinez. We talk about balanced scoring, Jim. 8 goals in the game, and only 2 players have multi-points in this game today. The puck is taken by Nashville's Smith. Smith now picked up as it's moved ahead. Across the line, left side. Josi shoots and a save by Jones. Rebound, knocked down again by Jones on the left wing side, and the Kings clear it up ahead to center ice. Pretty good chance there by Philip Forsberg on the rebound. Less than a minute to go in the period. The only 2 players with more than 1 point. Ekholm with a goal and an assist, and Wilson a goal and an assist, both for Nashville. 8 other Predators have a point. 8 other Kings have a point. Kings get it to Clifford. Clifford's pass across the line, intercepted by Nashville. 38 seconds left to go in the period. Puck picked up on the left side and sent down in deep behind the net by Järnkrok. He goes for it again in the corner. He dropped it off back behind the net, but out of the reach there of Mark Arcobello. 22 seconds left to go in the period. Here is Muzzin to Clifford. Now to King. King up to center ice. King with it. 14 seconds to go in the period. King's shot is wide. Rebound. Nashville with it. Clifford comes in with a hard check. Puck comes out to center ice. Taken by Stoll. 5 seconds to go in the period, but offside called against the Kings.
Well, Clifford was caught in deep on the play, but at least he's trying to throw his body around, and certainly did that one time right there against Volchenkov. So now I think there's going to be a completely different feeling in the dressing room when you get to the second intermission compared to the first intermission. And just that, if the energy was an issue in the first, it won't be for the Kings in the third. They might make mistakes and those types of things, but now they must have a feel that they have a chance here. That next one gets the Predators back on their heels. One thing you have to say, the Kings cannot allow any more here. You got to make sure the goaltending's tight. You got to make sure you keep the Predators off the board.
Predators get to it, clear it to center, and that's going to do it for the second period. So in that period, 4 more goals are scored. Ekholm got his second. Arcobello his 8th for the Predators. Then the Kings came back. Martinez with his 4th to make it 5-2, and King with his 6th to make it 5-3. And that's where we are with Nashville ahead at the end of 2.
Obviously, the Kings need offense in the third period, but they can't force things. That's when the Predators will be there to counterattack because of turnovers. So kind of keep going the same way as far as what has worked. Bodies to the front of the net.
So a high-scoring game here this afternoon, and when we come back, we are going to put you on Thin Ice with Jay and Dan coming up right after this. Kings Hockey is brought to you by Mercury Insurance. Get a free quote today from Mercury Insurance and get a free collectible mini stick set featuring Andrzej Kopitar. And by Staples. Make more happen.
Well, welcome back on in here to Staples Center. We thought it was going to be ugly when we have a chance not to be because the Kings are back in this game right now. A lot more goals scored than we thought. Downstairs right now, the Kings associate head coach, that's John Stevens. And John, it's a weird game. It's a game of balances, but I assume traffic was on the mind of both teams coming into this game?
Well, I think you've seen a lot of traffic at both nets there. We got off to a great start, obviously, and then did one back there right away. So We got to tighten up here a little bit defensively, get a little bit quicker with the puck and our support, and we're getting enough chances here. We just need to capitalize on them.
Is there a time on the bench? Is there a differential? You're down by 4, where you get a feel again, okay, we're back in this game?
Well, I just think we were getting chances there. A couple of those pucks ended up in the net. It was a huge goal at the end of the power play there. We're getting chances. We just need to bear down there and give up less. We tighten up a little bit. We're going to get enough chances here. Just bear down. We'll be all right.
All right, John, thanks very much. So many times coaches look at the game that way. They don't really coach offense, so to speak, although, again, with the Predators this year, much different approach to their forecheck and how aggressive they can be, always with a safety valve, though. But most coaches talk about defense, and that's what John Stevens talking about right there. He feels he's confident his team will get enough chances. The forecheck will be there. You just got to keep the puck out of your own net.
And the third period underway. Can the Kings come all the way back as the puck driven down into the Nashville zone and an icing call against the Kings? Both of these teams coming into the game today have scored 106 goals, but right now Nashville with a 5-3 lead as the third period begins.
I talked earlier about the 5-on-5 differential. Coming into this game, the Predators were plus 28 on the season, 5-on-5. The Kings are plus 8. So there's a big difference right there. That shows you they're well coached. They know what's going on. That read and react game is right at the top.
Kings get control of it back in their own zone, and Doughty moves it up the left side, taken by Brown. Brown ahead to Stoll, right side, but offside at the blue line go the Kings.
Reminder, Carl's Junior Sports Update will be coming up a little bit later with Patrick O'Neill, and Patrick will be taking us through the World Junior Championships. Updating on that, they're in the knockout round right now. Some good things for some teams, and of course the other teams going the other way, but Junior World's going on right now in Montreal and Toronto. I think now it shifts all the way to Toronto.
Face-off outside the blue line. The U.S. is out. They got beat by Russia in that tournament. Puck taken now and cleared up by Nashville into the Kings zone, and Stoll back to take it for the Kings. Passes off the boards, but not out. Held in. Nashville into the corner, but Doughty gets there first. He gets it to Muzzin. Muzzin's pass along the boards, tipped out to center ice now, and the Kings trying to get to it. Williams to Brown. Brown shoots, and a save by Rene. Puck taken by the Nashville Predators, and Fisher gets it up center, intercepted by Richards, but he couldn't catch up with it. Puck taken by Nashville now, back in their own zone. Next goal, so important here. If the Kings get it, they're back to within one. Puck comes down into Green. Green's pass along the boards in the Kings zone. Nashville trying to hold it in, and they get possession of it. And puck taken away now by Clifford up ahead to Martinez. Now over to Richards. He couldn't find it for a moment. It was behind him. And the Predators take it away, and Nystrom drives it back behind the net. Kings get to it, and here's Kyle Clifford. Now a long pass up the right side to King. Richards goes down the middle. King tried to give it to Richards, but he was taken out of the play there, and puck is taken by Nashville. Ryan Ellis back in his own zone.
Kings much better on the last breakout. Bob was Martinez. He just took a half-beat hesitation, but made a stick-to-stick pass. When that happens, you're at top speed, and the Kings leave the zone.
Puck taken by the Kings. Schultz knocked it down, gives it on the right wing side. A shot from there, and gloved by Rene. And he hangs on to it for a face-off in the zone. The shot by Toffoli from the right wing.
We'll see that last breakout. Martinez, a lot of people think he's going to go all the way around on this play. Watch this. He doesn't end up doing that. He ends up hesitation straight right here. Then it goes back here. And, of course, you have support up the ice. And the Kings really break out well right there. The one man goes through. The back defenseman's there. And a neat little play. Just hesitation by Martinez. Buys himself time. Believe me, wingers love that. They don't like it around the boards. They love it on the stick.
Roman Josi out of Switzerland has it back behind the net. The Nashville Predators. Fans want him to get that puck moving, and he does, and it's cleared up the center ice. And the Kings take it away there, but right back to Gaustad, and he drives it behind the King net. Pass up the right side. Kings get it to Kopitar at center. Here's the Kings working on a 3-on-2. Kopitar down the right side. Kopitar, and his pass comes left side, and held in there, and Kopitar again into the slot. Then a shot, save, rebound, covered by Rene. But the Kings had a pretty good chance right there in the slot as Kopitar made the play.
Yeah, Kopitar has it coming off the boards. Pearson's involved, kind of backing up the play. Watch how dangerous it is. It hits Weber. He may have prevented the goal right there because with all the traffic, I'm not sure if the goaltender Rinne would have been able to see it. You saw Rinne reacting. Then he does find the loose puck. Good example right there. Again, 6'6" for Rinne, but real quick feet. He's really solid on his feet. A lot of movement right there, but he gets there to make the save.
Face off in the Nashville zone, and the Predators going to pick it up. You mentioned the height of the goaltender Rinne. Shot from the right side and a save by Pekka Rinne, and he covers this one up.
And we have some line changes going on here in the third. Probably started in the second, but you've got Gaborik out there with Carter and Lewis. Toyota game analysis right now. Kings, most goals allowed at home this season. That's on the top of the list. It's not the best thing you want to see. Jonathan Quick was pulled in the first. Kings goals, getting back into it. Traffic has been the story of this game. Both teams doing it. And Daryl Sutter mixing things up to try to get it going offensively more consistently. And the second period was real good there for the Kings.
Kings win the draw to the blue line. Doughty drives it into the corner, taken away by Ribeiro, and he gets it up the left wing side. And here's Philip Forsberg, top rookie in the league this year in 9 categories. He drops it back at the blue line. Predators deep in the King zone. Picked up, and a whistle on the play. Interference called here.
It looks like a stick knocked out of the hands, and that's going to be the call. Forsberg's going to the box for the second time in this game. He whacked the stick out of the hands of Jake Muzzin. And when you're looking for moments and critical moments and taking advantage of situations, the Predators have the puck here. They're on attack. They've got control, and they end up taking a penalty. And that's one thing you want to stay away from. Right at the blue line. And right there in front, that's where it happens. Jake Muzzin turning in front. He's trying to support his partner. Forsberg too much with a stick. Chance here, man advantage, Kings.
Well, Forsberg just trying to take the lead in another category. He's got him at 9 already. Puck comes all the way back down into the King zone. Here's the chance for the Kings to pull it within 1. Up the center is Muzzin. Muzzin's pass off on the right side to Williams. Williams, Nashville zone. Williams back to Muzzin. Muzzin, his pass left side to Stoll. Stoll gives it to Doughty. Back to Stoll. Stoll on the left side. In deep now. Here's Brown. Brown's cross-ice pass taken by Doughty. Doesn't shoot. Gives it to Muzzin. Muzzin shoots wide. Trying to get it over where Williams could tip it in. Puck taken now by Doughty again. Back out it goes. Kings with it. Here's Muzzin. Muzzin shoots, save, rebound, cleared out to center ice.
Muzzin scored a couple of goals exactly that way, high to the short side, and Rinne had that one taped. He knew what was going on. He anticipated the play, but the motion and the movement continues to be pretty good here for the Kings man advantage.
Kings still have a minute left to go with his power play. Gaborik on the ice now. Gaborik, Carter, Kopitar at the right point. Kings have it again. Doughty gives it to Martinez. He shoots and a save and a rebound just out of the reach there on the left side of Carter. Back to the blue line. Here's Martinez. Martinez gives it to Gaborik. Gaborik cross-ice pass taken away by Mike Fisher, and he cleared.
And the Kings had the chance, Bob, but we're hoping for a rebound. Rinne was still able, with the quick hands that time, the quick blocker, to make sure there was no second chance.
Now offside Kings as Carter's pass went to Gaborik, and then Carter offside.
Nice tempo here, though, in the third period. You have the man advantage. Get it going. Watch. First shot through. Save, and then blocker right there. You see the recognition by Rinne. There's the active goaltender. That's the scouting report on him. Quick feet, quick hands. And you see, he just guided that puck to a spot. He knew exactly what was going on. He had to back up to make the first one, aggressive to make the second one.
Kings with 2 shots on this power play. Martinez drives it in. It comes off the glass as Rinne came barreling out to try and grab it, and it's cleared by Nashville.
And that's so important, Bob, especially in a penalty kill situation. Rinne expended a lot of energy there to stop the puck. He stops it, and the Preds clear it all the way down.
Here is Martinez driving it back behind the net. It comes around to Kopitar, to Martinez, and his shot on the backhand up high. Picked up by Kopitar now, and the power play is over. Nashville makes a big penalty kill here. Martinez with a shot. Steered in. Now Carter tried to bank it in off the goaltender. Puck is cleared back out to center ice. Chased into the Kings zone by Martinez. He sends it around the right side, and Kings have it in their own zone. Trying to make a comeback from down 5-1. They're now down 5-3. Pass to King on the right side. Tipped back out to center ice, but the Kings come back to take it away. I was just going to say, you talk about the height of Pekka Rinne at 6'6". Smallest player in the league currently. There's a pass by Forsberg, broken up. Nathan Gerby at the Carolina Hurricanes, 5'5". Pass in the middle. Clifford didn't get it, and the Predators clear it up ahead to center. Tried a long pass there, but icing called against Nashville.
You mentioned that penalty kill, Bob. You have the situation with Rinne, the goaltender. He has the size, but he has to be very aggressive here. Look at this. He's going to jump up with his glove and the side of his body. He stops it. That allows the defenseman Josi to get back, turn, and fire all the way down the ice. If he doesn't get it, it goes along the boards, and the Kings have a 50-50 chance of getting the puck.
You know the shortest player in NHL history? No, not Darrell Evans. I wanted to beat you to that. I knew you were thinking of it. Roy Waters, 5 feet 3 inches tall. Goaltender for 12 seasons in the NHL. Pittsburgh, New York, Montreal. And his nickname was Shrimp.
Why?
I don't know. They call tall guys shorty.
Exactly. He gets the bad one. Timeout called here by the Predators, so they're getting a feel that maybe the Kings continue to come on. They have the situation go with the power play. Tonight on Fox Sports Live, all the news from the world of sports, including highlights, full day, NBA, NHL, a lot going on. Fox Sports Live. Fox Sports 1 is streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
And Roy Waters at 5'3", he was a goaltender, played in 484 games, 66 shutouts, won the most valuable and Vezina trophies, and he's inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Taller than Panger?
Panger was 5'5", I think. Now a shot knocked down in front and cleared out to center ice. Picked up now by Brown at center ice. Brown across the line into the Nashville zone. Kings trying to get back. They're down by 2. Puck along the boards. Nashville zone. Kings try to get it to Stoll. Now taken away and brought back to center by Nashville's Mike Fisher. Fisher taken out of the play there and knocked down, and the puck is picked up and cleared back up to center ice. Martinez made the play on Fisher. Now a pass off the boards comes over towards Stoll. Stoll checked there, the puck cleared out to center, and Schultz has it for the Kings. Over to McBain. McBain got it out to center. Volchenkov picks it up there, and it comes back into the Nashville zone, and Seth Jones back in to get it. Seth Jones, 6'4", 205, the youngster. Puck up to center ice and sent deep into the King zone, stopped by the King goaltender Martin Jones. He came on in the first period in relief of Jonathan Quick. Now Pearson, his pass across the line. Kings chase it down. Lewis into the corner. Now sent around the boards, and it is cleared up to center ice, and Predators with it again. Thrown down the right side by Arcobello. He puts it back behind the net. Kings take it away, and they get it over to Schultz. Now chased up to center ice. Kings with it, and Pearson drives it across the blue line. 12.5 minutes to go in the third. Kings down by 2. Long pass by the Predators. No icing here. Puck stopped by Jones. Doughty sends it over the right side to King. Now the Kings have it in their own zone and move it up ahead to the blue line. Taken away there, but right back to Schultz. Now up to King. King with Kopitar. King shoots. Knocked away by Pecorine. Into the corner. Kopitar goes for it. Kopitar trying to dig it out. He's got Clifford with him. To the blue line it goes. Muzzin with a shot into the corner. Now King behind the net. King and Kopitar. And then a shot just wide to the left. Kopitar almost a little pick there was King got that shot off.
And every time a shot's taken, Bob, it's close because there's so many bodies in front and it's bouncing one way or the other.
Here's Doughty, right side, shoots up high and off the glass. Puck comes left side to Muzzin. Now the Kings trying to move it back toward the blue line, but broken up by Paul Gaustad. And it's cleared up to center ice, and a chase for it now. Chase down the left side, and a shot to save, rebound, score! The rebound came right back up the middle and into the corner, and Olli Jokinen gets the goal, and it's now 6-3.
And now you feel the building again, so we'll see if the Kings can turn this one around. It'll be double trouble time. Olli went from the cue ball to the long locks, and the long locks are working here. We'll see what happens. Just kind of a punt play. Put the Kings into a foot race and you have that pressure at the right time, and then you see no one follows it up as far as trying to figure out where the next dangerous man is. And it's dangerous because the rebound's there. You give credit with that shot. The shot's up so high and so tight that there's no way to control it. And the Kings were a step short there on chasing down the puck. Jokinen chased it down. He was there, wide open net. Predators once again lead by 3.
Gabriel Bourque will get the assist on the goal by Olli Jokinen. And the Predators breathing a little easier now, and the Kings again have to come back from 3 down. Puck is in the King zone and taken by Brown. Here's Brown up ahead to center. Pass ahead, broken up there. I don't think anybody would have predicted Kings come home and give up 6 goals in the first game home on a 7-game homestand. Kings have to wait to get onside. They throw it down in deep. Kings want to get a line change. The Kings' next game is going to be here at Staples Thursday night. The New York Rangers come in, a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup finalists. The Kings emerge the winner, but the Rangers will be here on Thursday night. But Daryl Sutter, of course, not happy today. We'll be back.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Unfortunately, USA was knocked out of the World Juniors by Russia. The semis are set for tomorrow. The first game, Russia versus Sweden. The second game, Canada versus Slovakia. So I'm sure Jeff Carter and Marian Gaborik will have some action on that. I have a feeling Canada will advance, Jim. They beat Slovakia earlier in the tournament. Russia versus Sweden. Who do you got there?
Well, I'm going to go with Russia only because everyone in Canada wants to see that matchup because of what happened in history. And the Russians and the Canadians have a long, long history in hockey. So that's the one I'd like to see. I think most people feel the Swedes are the better team.
Kings move it up ahead to center ice. They're down 6-3 here in the third period with half the period left to go. Puck taken by Volchenkov. Back behind his own net. Kings have had trouble with Nashville. Nashville's won 3 straight here against the Kings. And in the last 7 against the Kings, they're 5-1-1. As we've mentioned several times, excellent season. They're 7th overall right now in the NHL.
Olli Jokinen about playing on the wing because there's so many centermen, so to speak, on the Nashville Predators. That's a good thing to have because you usually trust the centerman more on the wing. They had different guys go through the lineup this year where their natural centers playing on the wing. It's helped their team overall.
Olli Jokinen got the last goal, his 3rd of the year. The assist went to Bourque, Gabriel Bourque at 8:38. Nashville has 12 players today with at least 1 point. So now the faceoff out at center ice. And Kopitar on the draw, but the Nashville Predators win the faceoff there, and it's thrown in behind the King net. Doughty back to get it. Doughty's pass to Clifford. Clifford checked along the boards. Shea Weber is there. The loose puck is finally taken by the Kings, and Doughty gets it over to King. Now, somebody got slashed. I think it was Doughty on the arm. He took his glove off and was shaking his right hand. He's still out on the ice. Now, Kopitar with a good check there as he goes behind the net to try and pick it up. He had Nystrom trying to cut in front of the net, and Kopitar took him out. Puck across the blue line into the Nashville zone. Here's Clifford. Clifford on the left side. Clifford shoots, knocked wide to the right side. Kopitar goes for it. He gives it to Williams. Williams to the blue line to Doughty. His shot blocked, and Volchenkov picks it up and clears to center, but the Kings take it away again. 9 minutes left to go in the third period. Kings trail 6-3. Back up to center's Martinez. Snaps it hard around the boards. Tip to the blue line, high in the air, but knocked down there by Green. Now taken away by Nashville. They don't clear it on the first attempt, but now they get it out to center. Puck taken across the line now is going for it is Carter. Carter didn't get it. It came into the corner and taken by Green. Over to Martinez. Kings get it back over on the left side to Green.
Carter, Bob, with Richards and Gaborik, so that continues to change here in the third period. Now you're getting down to desperation time. You need one soon.
Fisher moves it over on the left side, and it's tipped back into the zone and played there by Mattias Ekholm, another player out of Sweden. Ekholm moves it ahead and all the way back into the King zone and chased down there by McBain. McBain behind the net, chased it into the corner now. And the Predators take it away. Right side shot from there is high and wide to the right. That shot by Craig Smith. Kings chip it off the boards and all the way back into the Nashville zone, and an icing call against the Kings. So the Kings' push has kind of been slowed down here the last several minutes.
Yeah, the Predators are going to spots and they're getting there quick during every LA Kings home game. You can bid on LA Kings memorabilia wherever you are. Text Kings to 52182. Visit the LA Kings mobile app. Go online, lakings.com/auction. Bid on all items featured in the Kings Care Foundation digital silent auction.
Nashville wins the draw, and the puck driven back behind the net. Kings get to it, but can't clear it out yet. Here's Stoll back to get it. Stoll's pass taken away by Ribeiro, but he got checked from behind. The puck taken by Williams, who cleared it out to center. Seth Jones for Nashville. Sends it down in deep. Back to get it is Stoll. He moves it over now to Schultz, and up ahead, Kings bring it to center. Williams with it. Williams checked along the boards. He gets it ahead. Now across the line, here's Brown. Brown to the right side. Dustin Brown, Nashville zone. Brown checked there. Nashville picks up the puck. Sent around behind the net again to Jones. Jones pass. Behind the net again, and Nashville just taking their time now. Let that clock tick down.
Well, they're supporting so well here. That, like, since you said that, you know, the Predators have a better puck possession. They've got a whole bunch of things. It's all support right now. They're not leaving the zone without the puck. If a player is in trouble for a split second, someone's right there to come over and help him get out of trouble. And that's very important now. Holding on to a lead, they're holding on to the puck.
Taken by Nashville again. Gostad behind his own net. Gets it over on the left side. Taken there by Gabriel Bourque to the blue line. Kings hold it in. Now it comes down to Lewis. He threw it tipped behind the net. Now pinching in is Muzzin. Here's Muzzin, still with it on his stick, swept off his stick, but back to the left point. Held in by the Kings. They get it over to Pearson. Pearson going for it. He gets checked hard into the boards. And the puck taken by the Predators and back up to center ice, and a shot gloved by Jones, and he covers it up. So down to 6:01 to go here in the third. We'll be back.
5 years ago, Bob, it would be unheard of. But you know what I was listening to coming to game today? Something in the Water by Carrie Underwood. #1 Billboard country song of 2014. Of course, Mike Fisher is married to Carrie Underwood. I want to bring that up because All-Star game next year. Not this year, next year. Nashville, Tennessee. And if you ever wanted to go to an NHL All-Star game and you wanted to have a whole bunch of fun maybe around the game, Nashville's the place to be. I'm country now, Bob. I'm gone country. It's over.
Really?
Oh, it's over.
All
Country.
right. Glad you saw the light. Puck comes up to center and sent across the line. Here's Dwight King. Can he get a shot? No, it's taken away by Yarncroke. Into the corner, checked there by Kopitar. And now Green trying to hold it in. He did at the right point. Got it down in deep. Broken up by the Predators again. They've got a 6-3 lead with 5:35 to go in the third. Kopitar holds it in. Gets it over to Martinez. He put it down in deep, but the Predators have it again, and they come back up to center ice. Second best defensive team in the league and hanging on to this lead here and doing a pretty good job of holding the Kings back. Now right in front of loose puck. Who's going to get to it? It's tipped up in the air and taken by the Kings. I think Martinez came in with or Green maybe with a stick, and it went high in the air and now cleared back into the Nashville zone. Long passes. They try to catch the Kings in a line change. Comes into the Kings zone. Cut off by Jones, but the Kings didn't play it for a moment. Now Doughty's pass taken away. Behind the net, picked up by Muzzin. Kings trying to get an attack going here, and they're having trouble. Here is Gaborik. Gaborik on the left side. Gaborik driving in on Seth Jones. Jones makes the play there. Gaborik in the corner. Now here's Carter. Carter checked by Volchenkov. Carter on the right side. Feeds it back to the blue line. Shot from there is blocked in front. Muzzin pinches in. Muzzin down in deep. Muzzin to Gaborik. Gaborik checked along the boards, and the puck dug out by Nashville. They get it up ahead to center ice, and Bourque sends it into the Kings zone, and Kings trying to get back and get it loose. Puck though in deep, and a shot saved by Jones, and a rebound wide.
He had to leap across with the right leg pad right there. Lost his stick on the play, or maybe before that, but makes a save.
Kings block a shot that was coming toward Jones and cleared out to center ice. But now we're under 4 minutes to go in the third period. Kings need 3 goals in that short span to tie the game. Back into the Kings zone, left side, shot by Stallberg and a save by Jones. Ribeiro with it, back to the blue line. Now here is Weber, his shot. Hit his own man maybe, and out to center, Stallberg. Weber back to get it. Nashville Predators with that 3-goal lead. And puck comes around looking for their second win this season against the Kings. Puck comes up the center, taken by Williams. He moves it ahead and across the line, right side. Pass in deep to McBain. He didn't get it. Predators take it away. Cleared up ahead to center ice by Ribeiro and into the King zone. Craig Smith. Pass left side, a shot. Glove save by Jones. Martin Jones with a big glove save there. And now we're 3:06 to go in the game. We'll be back.
Well, we'll give the Land Rover player of the game to Mark Arcobello. Gets 1 goal. He's a +1. First game with the Nashville Predators. Everything going well. His team is probably going to win this game. 3:06 remaining. They're up by 3. He admits he's a small guy. Bob, you talked about size earlier, but he says he's going to give you everything he has, and he's going to be on the puck, and that's what he's done in today's game. And the Predators picking him up from the Edmonton Oilers. Arcobello making an immediate impact.
Well, nice holiday present for him, as you mentioned earlier. Coming from Edmonton over here to Nashville. 2:58 left to go in the third. This is going to be disappointing for the Kings, who hope to come home with a 7-game homestand and pile up the points. And they're not going to get any, it looks like, in this game here today, but a whistle now on this play. And
well, we talked about it way back in the open with Justin Williams, chatting with him yesterday at practice, and where he's saying the time is now. It's time for the Kings to put some space between a few of the teams in the Western Conference, and you're right. So for that reason, even more so, and you kind of come back home and you get into a situation where hopefully if you have banged up guys, you have more of a chance to get the medical team to them, and you get a chance to get a little bit better. The matchup situations, just momentum. You're coming out of Christmas, and Justin was saying you have a chance during Christmas break to reflect on what's going on, and maybe you need to make some changes and get things going. So it's back to what we've been talking about all season long, Bob, and that's consistency, because 60-minute effort the other night in Vancouver was exceptional.
Yeah.
And you have one of these games, not a good start in the first by the Kings.
here is Kopitar now, and a shot is deflected up high, the shot by Doughty. We had coincidental minor penalties just moments ago. Ekholm of Nashville for slashing, Toffoli of the Kings for roughing.
Bob, you see all the travel the Kings have to do in the month of January. All of that travel. San Jose, of course, then you have the All-Star break, so a little bit going on after that, but a chance here from now on to make it happen and build up some points. Never easy. Every team looking for it. You just want to make sure you get something going as a group, and that has not been the case this year. It's just not been able to put the streak of games together, and every team's looking for that, and the Kings still looking on the season.
Puck taken by the Kings, and a shot, a save on the shot by Muzzin. Puck sent back along the boards in the Nashville zone with 2:09 to go here in the third period. And to the blue line, Muzzin, shot, score! Rebound! Came right up the middle to Dwight King. And he gets the goal to make it 6-4, but now only 2:01 remain.
And King is just getting to the front. He did it in Vancouver for his goal. He did it for his first goal today. He did it for the second goal today. He's just like a corner to the front. As soon as he knows the Kings established possession, he's getting right there. And it doesn't get all the way through to the goaltender, I think, the first time. And that makes it even more difficult because the goalie doesn't know where it's going to be. Yeah, he doesn't get there. It's either Ellis or King. But then the chip over top. Now you have the goaltender, Rinnig, allowing 4 goals. Not the type of game he'd want. Martin Jones, Bob, made a couple big saves here lately. I'm not going to make a comment on who's going to win this game yet, but at least it gives a guy who maybe struggled on a short side shot. Jones goes to the bench. Chance to build some confidence, maybe. Get back in this game.
Dwight King with his second goal today, and he's got 3 goals in the last 2 games. The Kings pulled the goaltender, Martin Jones. They had the big comeback with 2 goals in 53 seconds in Vancouver the other night. They got to get it here. Here's Gaborik. He shoots, and a save. And he had a good chance coming down the left wing. held in by Doughty. He shoots. It's blocked and cleared out to center ice by Eric Nystrom.
Under the circumstance, I don't know if you're going to get a better chance than the one Gaborik had right there. Good rebound control by Rinne. It doesn't go out to the far side. It stays on the short side.
Kings come back in the zone again. Here's Gaborik. Try to get his stick on it. He's down in the corner. Gaborik still battling forward. The puck comes to the blue line to Martinez. Quickly over now to Doughty. Back to Martinez. He'll shoot it. He does. He scores! And now it's 6-5 with a minute 4 to go.
Poise and patience by the Kings defense to go back and forth and open up lanes. But the traffic's there. I think someone got a stick on it. If I'm not mistaken, Martinez is able to pull the trigger. Look at Gaborik. Is he known for front net? He's becoming more and more known for it. He takes a swing. I think Gaborik's going to get the goal. He not only screens, he deflects. The double whammy. It's going high, ends up low. No question on a deflection. And Rinne is at the mercy of the Kings once again. Goaltender back in for the faceoff. Again, it's 4-on-4 skating here. Kings back within 1. What a weird game, but it's a great game, and now you've got the chance.
11 goals scored in the game. Kings pull the goalie again with less than a minute to go. Kings with it. Doughty drives it into the zone and into the corner. Kings try to send it toward the net. Broken up there. The net is open at the Kings end of the ice, and the puck sent all the way down. No icing here. Back up to center ice. Puck fired up high and down into the Nashville zone. Picked up by Kopitar. Kopitar now to Carter. Carter scores! And the Kings have tied the game at 6-6. Unbelievable. 2 games in a row. The Kings with late goals. And they've tied this one. It looked at 6-3 like it was over, but the Kings score with 2:01 to go. They score with 1:04 to go, and now they score with 33.3 to go.
Carter does not follow up. He lets Kopitar do the work. Kopitar gets the puck, holds on, and Carter backs off into a position where he has the one-time shot. If 33.3 seconds go by, Bob, my prediction is correct. This game will end 7-6.
You're right. Now the puck up to center ice. Martin Jones, of course, back in for the Kings. Go Kings, go, the chant. This has been unbelievable. Kings down 6-3 and now have tied it 6-6. They were down 5-1 earlier in the game. Back up to center. Carter with that goal. Now at center ice, it comes back into the Kings zone. 5 seconds to go, and we are getting it out to center ice. Kings got 3 goals in 1 minute and 27 seconds, and we're going to overtime. The Kings and the Predators each get a point, and this building is going crazy. We'll be back with overtime right after this.
I don't know if that guy's exhausted. I don't know if Jonathan Quick or Martin Jones are exhausted, but I'm exhausted, and I am happy to be tired because what a game, what a spectacle, what a show. Jeff Carter just snipes it home, backing off one time, and that almost knocked the net off the moorings as hard he shot. The Kings were out of it, but we could always get that feeling because the way things were going. Third period, get the bodies to the front. Doesn't get through, but then Kings there for the rebound. Look at Gaborik, redirection, screen, and then Carter. Don't crowd Kopitar, stay open. Bang the stick once, when it banged the stick twice, it was right to the back of the net. And we're going to OT tied, if you can believe this. 6-6.
All right, let's catch up with the scoring here that you just saw. It was King from Muzzin and Kopitar that made it 6-4. Martinez with his 2nd of the game and 5th of the year from Doughty and Carter with 2:01 remaining to make it 6-5. And then Carter his 11th from Kopitar and Martinez with 33.3 seconds to go to tie the game 6-6. And now overtime begins. 4-on-4, the skating situation here in the overtime. Wow, unbelievable. How many times have we said never leave a game early? The Kings with a miraculous 3 goals in 1 minute and 27 seconds. to tie the game. Face off at center ice. Ribeiro against Kopitar. Nashville with it now. Each team has a point, so the Kings now have 47. Nashville 52 at this point. Into the King zone. Picked up by Forsberg. Forsberg's pass almost intercepted. Now the Predators with it. Score to win the game. The Kings almost intercepted, and the puck came right into the slot, and Roman Josi scores to win the game for the Predators. 18 seconds into overtime.
I'll take the point the way it went. I'll take the point, but this is just a complete breakdown. Martin Jones upset. He allowed a bad angle goal earlier, but this one here, Josi had so much time right down the middle, took his time, faked a couple of shots, stick-handled all the way, and you'll see a couple of issues here with the Kings. Once the puck gets to the zone, too many Kings going after one player. Two go after one, Doughty and Carter. Now it's wide open. Once, twice, hold, and patience. That's just good puck protection, good understanding of how much time you have, and then a real good wrist shot. So, deflated crowd right now. I can imagine if the Kings win this game, it's devastating to the Predators, but the Kings end up getting a point. We'd have to say, on a whole, defensive breakdowns the worst we've seen this year for the LA Kings. A couple of weird situations with bounces early on, but then some clear-cut breakdowns. Both teams did it, and the Predators win it 7-6 in OT.
So for Jim Fox, Bob Miller, thanks for being with us. Stay tuned now for Kings Live, which is coming up next. The Predators win it in overtime, 7-6.